Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
And welcome back to Good, Bad, Ugly Backlash 2023 edition. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the not a lot of bad or ugly here in this edition of Backlash. So we're going to be scraping for things here, right, Larson?
Yes,
That's
that is
right.
very much the case.
Worry about that. Worry about that in a moment. First up, let's go with the good. What's your first good of Backlash 2023?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot that was good about the show. First, I'm going to talk about the crowd. Mm-hmm. When you get a electric crowd that's really into the show, it can enhance the viewing experience so much.
Absolutely.
And over the weekend, I watched Bad Bunny's entrance, and to see not just the massive pop he got when his music hit, but to see the whole crowd sing along to the song that he uses for his theme. I mean, those are like goosebump moments when you're watching a wrestling show or at a wrestling show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you're amidst that size of a crowd, having this communal experience where everybody's absolutely losing their mind over what's going on. Yeah. It's amazing. And whenever there's a crowd that is that into the show, it just makes the show so much better.
Yeah. So I'll sort of piggyback on that and give my thoughts before I give my good. But that was sort of my prime one. Was also just generally speaking, WWE's sort of integration of Puerto Rico in general. Of course, they were paid by the tourism board to go there, and my goodness, they really use that opportunity to showcase sort of the merging of Puerto Rico and WWE. It's not like they just went into town, did whatever they were going to do. No, they really embraced it, from the merchandise they were selling to featuring Puerto Rican descent wrestlers, whether it's Zelina Vega, Damian Priest, bringing in Bad Bunny, what have you, Savio Vega, Carlito's return. They really went all in on the cultural identity of Puerto Rico and, infusing the show with that. I mean, down to an entire backstage promo exclusively in Spanish with no subtitles or commentary, not telling us or anything. Or what they usually do is, like, Rey Mysterio will say something in Spanish. If it's Rey Mysterio, for example, or Santos or whoever, Rey Mysterio will say something in Spanish and then he'll say the same thing in English. That's how they usually do it. But that whole backstage segment with when Savio Vega shows up and Bad Bunny's there, the entire thing was in Spanish, no English. And I think that was really cool. You understood what was being said, even if you don't speak the language.
Exactly.
So just the general infusion of Puerto Rican DNA into the WWE show, I thought was a masterstroke. I really did. The other good on my list was Bianca Belair and Io for a feud that really has had some amount of intrigue. It's sort of been on the down low. It was a phenomenal match. The crowd getting firmly behind Io Sky. Hopefully that signals good things for her.
Yes, hope so. Another good from me. I thought Omos's showing in his match against Seth Rollins was fantastic from a character perspective. Thought it was a massive improvement over. I mean, he hasn't really had a whole lot of opportunities to do much from a character perspective, and most of his matches are 90 seconds, 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. He goes in there, squashes somebody, and leaves. We see, people mock their opponents quite a bit, but to see him actually have the opportunity to mock Seth Rollins.
Oh,
that's
boy.
for We Book Raw. Seth Rollins conducting the crowd to sing his theme. I mean, it's something that we're used to in terms of watching wrestling shows, but to see Omos get a chance to do it and then do it really effectively.
Yeah.
And I hope this is the first step in Triple H giving Omos more opportunities to showcase his personality inside the ring. But it was far and away, I thought, his best bout. And he had no problem. Seth is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Omos had no problem staying right there with him.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a hell of a performance for Omos.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. Sex Rollins, yes.
Against Sex Rollins. That's his name now. Let's move on to the bad. Not a lot of bad here in this show, nor ugly, but I can find something. Brock's weird loss. So from what we understand, Brock Lesnar kind of has carte blanche over what he wants to do. And I guess hats off to him for accepting a loss against Cody Rhodes. But why is it that Brock Lesnar refuses to just do the normal eat somebody's finishing move and then take the L. He only does that against Roman Reigns. I think he's done it against Seth Rollins maybe.
Yeah,
but
he lost to Seth clean at WrestleMania.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. I'm sure he ate a Claymore from Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania as well. But it just seems like more and more over the years, like Cody Rhodes needs to be one of those guys where 3 or 4 crossroads, if he can get those off, needs to put Brock down. He hit 2 on Brock, but Brock had to kick out, and then Cody had to escape with, sort of the weird roll-up pin, and it just didn't really accomplish anything for anybody. And look, I know Brock will probably interfere with the big match on Raw. This is going up on Tuesday, so that probably happened last night. Yes. And so I'm sure this feud will continue, but it was just one of those things where it was like, Brock's getting too clever for his own good.
Well, it's what I had this as my ugly, but I'll put this as my bad because it kind of dovetails what you're talking about. It wasn't just the finish; it was the story in total, because you have Cody sneak attack Brock before the match begins. Hardly the most heroic move. I know it's Brock. He's an end boss. You need to gain every advantage you need to against Brock. I understand that. But then it wasn't like it was as soon as the bell rang, Brock dominated for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a fairly even match, except for there was a short sequence where Brock just hit a bunch of suplexes. But that's such a mundane aspect of Brock's offense that's like, unless it's double digits, not a huge deal.
That's just par for the course. Yeah.
It's just par for the course.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like the story of this match should be Cody's story in microcosm. He has to overcome adversity. He has to overcome Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that sense coming out of this match. He got a roll up win, which if he's getting absolutely annihilated, it sneaks a win with a roll up. I get that. But it didn't feel like he was getting annihilated. Brock was one bleeding profusely.
Cody was kind of dominating this match.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was highly competitive.
Yeah, it was.
And if you're trying to tell the story of Cody overcoming obstacles and adversity, that wasn't necessarily the story of this bout.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so it kind of just muddles what they're doing with Cody.
Yeah, right.
This seemed like it was a situation where maybe something was laid out and someone said, "Doesn't work for me, brother."
Yeah, exactly.
And changed it a little bit. I mean, hats off to Brock for willing to bust open hard way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel like that was sort of his thing. Like, okay, I'm going to make you look good by bleeding all over you. Yeah.
Yeah. But it didn't really enhance the story of the bout whatsoever, or enhance Cody's story whatsoever.
It didn't really do much for anybody. What was your other bad? Because you said that was your.
I'll just save that for my ugly. I'll just switch them.
Okay, all right, right on. One more bad I have was Theory's U.S. title win. That's a match that really did nothing for nobody. It was quick, which I guess was fine, but really there was no point to that. Take that 6 minutes, get that match out of here, add it to Zelina Vega's match, which will be my first ugly. The fact that Zelina Vega only had 7 minutes and 12 seconds, to be precise, against Rhea Ripley. And I thought that was kind of a short shrift for somebody who got such a wild standing ovation when, during the entrances. She had, during the introductions, during the entrances, she had a wildly creative Puerto Rican flag costume. And this was like her really big moment to shine. And I'm not taking away from that big moment. Obviously, it meant a great deal to her. I imagine it probably still does. But hey, give her a little bit more in 7 minutes and 12 seconds. Make this into a 12-minute bout, which would make us think, hey, maybe the underdog has a real shot. I never really thought she had a shot in this match.
Yeah, agreed. My ugly, which was my bad, but that'll be my ugly, is you mentioned the U.S. title bout. And it's I know it's something they do in the world of WWE, in the world of wrestling, I guess, where they practice a match on a house show and then put it out there on a pay-per-view card.
Yeah.
But for anybody who actually came across that information about how the match ended on the European tour, and to see that play out in probably the exact same way at a pay-per-view, not only is it predictable, it's just a letdown.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it was the shortest match of the night. There was basically no intrigue involved in the match, and Austin Theory gets away with another opportunistic win, which doesn't really enhance his character at all. And it's the same finish they did for a week straight when they were in Europe just the week prior. I just thought, hey, not that information is maybe widely known, but just so people don't know what to expect, change it up a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just
change up the finish a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Do something different. Be new.
Yeah, be new. My other ugly is Brock and Cody main eventing when clearly it should have been Bad Bunny. That match had all the makings of a main event, including the Lex Luger being hoisted up, on the shoulders, ending for Bad Bunny. He's a huge international star, and right there in his home of Puerto Rico, having him get the win over Damian Priest in a wildly fun match. I can't wait till Thursday or Friday when we get to react to Dave Meltzer's star ratings. I'm curious to see what the Wrestling Observer himself has to say about it.
Interesting
versus what we give the match. But yeah, come on. Especially the way that Cody Brock match was laid out. They should have known this is kind of weak. Let's go with Damian and Bad Bunny.
Agreed. That match surely to the main event is even before we saw Cody and Brock. Once the Bad Bunny Priest match ended, we were like, how is this not the main event?
Call an audible. Close the show now. Don't worry about Brock and Cody. Nobody will remember that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, that's going to do it for our good, bad, and ugly. What did you guys think were the good, bad, and ugly of Backlash 2023? Load up the comments below. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.